right, here we go. Episode 11 of Little Life, Big Loss. Today I have a beautiful mama with me. I'm going to cry before I even start. Fuck. I normally don't know a lot about somebody's story, but Cassandra filled in a form to be on the potty and she put a fair bit of detail in there, and I'm telling you, it's a fucking heartbreaker. So, whew, my first question always, I just want to say firstly, thank you so much for being so vulnerable and opening up this space and trusting me with your story, because it's a big one, and I don't ever take for granted the opportunity to speak to somebody about the loss of their baby. So thank you so much. I love your bear. I love your baby, and I'm really honoured to be here with you. Firstly, my first question is always, who were you before you lost your baby? Because we know that the day that happens, we change forever. And so who were you before that day?
Well, I was living in Alice Springs, so I was just a youngster, I guess, just doing bar work and stuff, and with my partner, and it was a bit more out there, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Just a
much to
normal
say.
gal.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so when did you live in Alice Springs?
up until the end of January this year, so early February we got
Yep,
to Brisbane. So we
yep.
drove. I was about 29 weeks pregnant, and we drove and it was 3,000 kilometers in the car, packed up everything and just
Hectic.
left. So
People,
yeah.
my auntie and uncle just spent the weekend here with me, and they've been living out in Alice for 5 years. Oh
Oh
my gosh, they
really?
had the most. Yeah, they had amazing stories. Like, such a cool experience living out there.
Yeah, well,
So,
my partner
so
got
you,
work in the city here, so
okay. So I was about to say, did you guys move to Brisbane for the baby, or you moved there for work?
it's about half half. My partner works for an amazing company here and doing construction. So, and yeah, we just wanted to go to a bigger place with more opportunities. Not that Alice doesn't have any, but like not
Yeah,
getting into it. Their crime's getting pretty bad there, so I think it's just
Y-
better peace of mind moving to Brisbane.
yeah. So you'd think, huh? And then this. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, let's get into your story. So let's talk about conceiving your bubba. Let's start from the beginning. So you're living in Alice. You fell pregnant. Was it something you were
yeah. We
trying for, or?
no, we I got my IED out because it was just messing with me. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna get it out. We went to a heavy metal festival and
Yeah.
happened first cycle after that by accident.
Bless. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
yeah,
were
it
you
was
initially were
totally
you initially
unexpected.
scared or excited? What was your initial
I was
reaction?
super excited and scared,
Yeah.
but we were just like, well, shit, we gotta get,
You
we're
took your
living in a
IUD out. You know the risks when that happens. So yeah, it's not as if it was an
yeah,
unexpected. Yeah.
yeah, and like yeah, it was just not that fast. I guess it was just like ooh.
Yeah.
That was only
Absolutely.
that would have been I had one period and then it happened. So
Amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was not expecting it. I thought I was getting sick again. I just felt super tired and took a
Yeah.
test and what do they call it? A dye stealer. I was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. Oh, how beautiful.
so I was super
Yeah.
pregnant. And I was also
Yeah.
like shit. I was like been scrubbing
Yeah.
underneath the bar with terps.
Oh,
Didn't even know.
bless.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was
And
a
so
sweet
how many weeks?
surprise.
Yeah. So how many weeks were you once you realised you were pregnant?
I think I was 4 or 5.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. That's still
Yeah,
early. That's early to know. Yeah.
yeah. I had missed
Yeah.
my nearly missed my whole period. So
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh okay, this is a bit long.
I know, I've heard about these things. I better do a test.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and it was very strong.
Yeah, that's so good. Strong little
Yeah,
bubba. And so you
yeah,
had a reasonably good pregnancy?
yeah. Yeah, he was super like healthy, good
Yeah.
heartbeat every time, and um, you know, and we didn't do any genetic testing because they saw like his nuchal fold was all good. So
Yep.
they're like, oh, you don't need to do genetic testing. His chances of having anything like that super, super low.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I had horrible tailbone pain, but that had nothing to do with him.
That's just pregnancy. Pregnancy's hard.
Yeah, it was so
Pregnancy's.
bad. But yeah, and then it was pretty good, and then
And
we
you went
drove
all
all
the
the
way
way. I
through,
was
all the
very
way through to the end.
stressed.
Yep.
Yeah, me and my
Yep.
partner spent like 12 weeks apart, and it was very stressful. I was over in Alice applying for houses for here and stuff, and yeah, he flew back, and
Oh,
we
so
found
he
out he
got
was
sent
a
over
little
to
boy.
Brisbane first.
Yeah, so I was in Alice by
Yeah.
myself, well, with friends and
Yeah.
family. But
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, 20-week scan, found out it was a little boy. Everything was still perfect, fine. They're actually like, he's a pretty happy little baby in there. You know,
Yeah.
they said that my whole pregnancy, even when I had like, where I thought I might have felt decreased movements for a day, they'd I'd instantly get to the hospital and he'd just be on the machine on my stomach, and I'd be like, like they're like, he's super
And
happy
there
in there.
he
I was like,
is.
oh.
Yeah,
Um,
good.
and then about when I was 37 weeks, I felt a bit off one weekend, and my fingers were the size of frankfurts, and yeah, I went into the hospital and they're like, yeah, you got preeclampsia, which is super weird. I felt off, but I felt probably the calmest I felt my whole pregnancy that weekend.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was the Easter weekend. So
Yeah.
yeah, I went in, blood pressure was high. Yeah, all the typical preeclampsia stuff. So like, yeah, we're gonna have to induce you. So we won't be leaving here
Okay.
until he's here.
I don't know a lot about
Induction went well.
preeclampsia. So what exactly is preeclampsia, and how does it is it just a random thing?
I think it is just random. It's just something
Yeah.
where the placenta just cracks the shits, I think.
Okay.
Basically, it's dangerous, spikes your blood pressure, it can
Yeah.
damage your liver. Yeah, obviously, a lot of cases. And I was super lucky I caught it when I did, because I didn't have another appointment until I gave birth.
Sure.
So, a lot of women, some women have seizures, strokes, everything. And
Yeah.
I just
Wow.
caught it. Luckily,
And it's dangerous
thinking
to
going
you
in,
and
feeling a bit
Bub.
off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you about that in a minute, because, when he was
Okay.
born, there were some blood clots in my placenta, which, in
Yeah.
hindsight, I'm thinking, shit, that could have been really bad if I didn't go in.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, I got induced. That was gnarly, just in birth-wise.
Yeah.
It was a couple-day process with the Foley bulb and everything. And
Was it?
yeah, I got a Foley bulb. That was really painful. That was more painful than some of
Yeah.
the contractions. And had that
Really.
in
And is that
for a
something they
while,
put
and then
in to assist with the labor,
to dilate,
induction?
to make you
Yeah. Okay.
start
Yeah.
dilating, and then
Yeah.
like, yeah, 2 3, they broke my waters, and I started contracting on my own, but they still gave me pitocin, so yeah, and those contractions sucked, and I ended up getting an epidural pretty fast. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was born. So
Mhm.
labour only lasted about 8 hours. Got myself to 6
Yeah.
centimeters without an epidural, but I was like, no.
Go
Yeah,
girlfriend.
but one thing they didn't tell me though, like, because they had to put me on medication for the preeclampsia to obviously keep my blood pressure under control. They didn't
Yeah.
tell me that was going to affect him. So obviously, when they were like, "Okay, we're going to take him down the nursery, check him out," and I was like, "Oh," because they, what is it called, labetalol. It affects,
Okay.
it can affect their temps and their sugars, so they got to check them. They had to give him a special bottle and stuff. Other than that, he
Okay.
was fine. He got his temps back up overnight. They wrapped him up, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Screw this! I'm just gonna put him on me." um,
Yeah.
Other than
Of
that, he was
course.
pretty healthy. Even when I had contractions, there was not really any D cells or distress. They're like, "This is the
Yeah.
happiest baby we've ever seen." Um,
Yay.
so
And so
yeah,
how long did they have
but
him in
yeah.
NICU for? So it was just like
Oh,
some.
they didn't. They just
Oh,
came
okay.
back. I had to stay in, and then they had to keep checking his sugars and his temperature. So once they
Yep.
were good, we could go. Obviously,
Okay.
after me being good too. Yeah,
Yep.
and we tried the breastfeeding for a few days. It wasn't quite latching very well. He had a very shallow latch, and it was not working for the both of us. So I just pumped,
Yep.
and he got all the
Yep.
yummy colostrum and stuff. So he did
Good
so
work.
he was mixed fed
Yep.
formula, and which, yeah, There's no shame to it.
Fed is best is my fed is best. Doesn't matter how he gets
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
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 So yeah,
Yeah.
he
Good
was
job.
happy and healthy as we knew. He was
Yeah.
3.5 kilos. He was a long
Mhm.
boy too. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
they
Good
said
work,
he's all
Mama.
good. We'll go home.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. And so you went home.
So we went home, and over the next 2 weeks, I had pretty bad jaundice and stuff. But they said, if it's not gone by 2 weeks, just we'll take him in to do light therapy. But it did clear up on its own by 2 weeks, so that was really
Yeah.
good. And it was pretty much just good. One thing he had really bad reflux, and I
Okay.
tried telling doctors, nurses, at that point I was trying to give him more breast milk and stuff, but nothing was really helping. I tried going to a
Yeah.
thicker formula, um, and everything, but he was still spewing. Like, I was trying to make
Yeah.
sure I was burping him enough. He was just doing these big spews, and all the doctors and nurses were like, he's fine, it's just reflux. And I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but what happened? But
Yeah.
I was like, he's doing big vomits, and his
Yeah.
soft spot
Yeah.
was sunken. And I kept trying
Okay.
to tell them,
Yeah.
which
I've
I
learnt
think they told
from
me
my
that means,
yeah. One of my friends said
oh,
that means they're dehydrated. Is that right?
yeah, that's what I got told
Yeah.
by the doctors and nurses, and they're like, oh no, that's fine. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Your intuition was
when it was
telling you
about,
otherwise.
yeah, I was just like, But then they were telling me, first time mum, you're anxious, he's
Mm.
fine, he's doing
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
So, when he was about 3 weeks old, he had this one morning where he was just super fussy. Like, he was screaming to the point he was red. He was taking feeds, He ate a lot too, but that was probably
Mm-hmm.
just him being his
Yeah.
dad's boy. But yeah, he was just screaming. He had quite a few big vomits. So I was like, I'm just gonna phone the ambos. I'll take him in, get him checked out because he was really hot
Yeah.
to touch, and yeah, he was just so
Yeah.
unsettled. He wouldn't let me put him down. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, we're gonna go into
Yeah.
hospital. And obviously,
Yeah.
by the time the ambos came, he was calm. But um,
Yeah.
we went to the
Yeah.
hospital. And even the ambos, I'll give it to them too. Like they were just like, your baby,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, he went to hospital and his liver levels were a little elevated, but they just told me that's probably because of the jaundice, um,
Okay.
which in hindsight, I'm like, I wish they'd investigated that more, but
Okay.
they assured me it was fine. It was just a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
and they
And
also heard a
yeah. So
murmur,
okay. So so you had liver levels were high. Did you say?
slightly
Yeah.
elevated, but
Okay.
within normal
Yeah.
range. But they were like,
Yeah. Looking back now, you're
which
like, okay, that could have been something. Yeah.
yeah, which
Yeah.
his jaundice had gone away like a week prior. I don't know
Yeah.
how it would have been. That the other thing they found was a heart murmur. So
Yeah.
which obviously they would have had to. They did the ECG, EKG, that the echo,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
found he had pulmonary stenosis, which is
Okay.
a narrowing of the pulmonary valve, which carries blood. I have that,
Yeah. Okay.
which
Okay.
yeah, I was like okay, and they said it was mild, it's fine. It's just they describe it as like a sticky valve.
Okay.
But they said his is fine, it's functioning well. They'll just keep an eye on it. You'll go to appointments. No, I felt really guilty. I was like, shit, I've given this genetically to him, and now he's gonna have to go to appointments for the rest of his life. And
Yeah. Do you
but
have troubles
yeah,
with yours? Is it something you've always known that you've had?
I've always had it
No.
since I was a baby, but I've never had troubles with it. So I was like,
Mm.
he'll be fine. If his is only mild, like
Mhm.
mine was when I was a baby, then yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, they talked about stents and stuff to but they were like in later date he'll just do follow up appointments and stuff.
See what
Yeah,
happens. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Like, obviously, if he's not well, bring him in. But
Yeah.
I even asked them, I was like, "Is there anything to look out for?" Like, they're like, "Oh, just if he's not breathing, obviously, bring him in." But yeah,
Far out. Yeah.
we got rushed out of there because they needed my room really badly. But
Mm.
and then 9 days later, on the 12th of May, um, so it just turned 4 weeks on the Wednesday. Um, it was a normal day, it was fine.
Yeah.
It was happy, I had him in the swing while I was in the kitchen making eggs and stuff, and my friend from Alice said he was in town. We're like, okay, so we're going on the ferry. We're going to the city and go have lunch with him. Yeah, and everything was fine. Like, he was fine. I remember those second to last feed he had, technically, when we were in town at about 1 o'clock. I was feeding him, and he did this massive spew all down my arms, and I thought, he still ate his food. You know how they tell you, if he completely
If,
doesn't want food, or, bring him in. He still ate it, and he was fine. He was pooing, he was peeing fine all day. He went
yeah.
back to sleep after, so I wasn't worried. But I was like, if
Yeah.
his next feed is off, I'll take him in. Like,
Yeah.
because I was like, that was a big spew. And,
Yeah.
wrapped up with lunch, and then we got on the ferry home. And I didn't notice why we were on the ferry because I was just staring at him. I was just like, I don't. And I remember thinking, I was like, I don't know how I made something so beautiful. But, um, yeah, and I just, yeah, that he looked like he's breathing fine, maybe a little bit shallow, but I just, jiggled his chest, and he was like, oh. And I was like, you're fine.
Yeah.
As I thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we got to my partner's work site office because it's not far off the ferry, and I was gonna walk back with him home, so we get a formula on the way home, and he started waking up usual time, grumbling for a feed.
Yeah.
I was hungry, so I was like, oh, we'll feed him before we go, and yeah. So my partner made up the bottle, and he wouldn't take it. We're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
weird. But my partner said, like, he'd done a massive poo in his nappy. So we're like, we'll just change him first and, go from there.
Yeah.
And I held him kind of like this in my arms. And I noticed his lips were going a little bit pale, but my partner assured me because there was a horrid yellow light there in front of the office, is like, because the sun's going down too. That was probably just that. He took him off me. He laid him down in the pram to change his nappy. And yeah, basically all his blood was just coming out of the side of his nose. And I was just like, Alex, like, he's got a blood nose. And he was like, oh fuck, like, what do we do? We like picked him up, and he just was not, like, he just went floppy. His lips were completely
What the
pale.
fuck?
And luckily, not luckily, well, there were some of his co-workers there, bless their hearts, CPR trained. They took him straight away. And they tried to, and he started coughing up frothy blood too.
Fuck.
We didn't know what to do. We're like, what the fuck do we do? We need to call an ambulance. And I was immediately on the phone to an ambulance, freaking out. And yeah, his co-workers took him into the office and started trying to clear his airways and do CPR, which they did on him for ages. They did it all right too. They gave him the best chance. And yeah, they got him back for a second, but then he went again, and then the ambos came. They tried, and they took him to the hospital. And all I'm thinking is, like, this can't be it. Like, me and my partner were just holding each other, just going like, what's happening, And I just kept saying to them, I was like, is he breathing? Like, no one would give me an answer. And yeah, they took him to the children's hospital. There was about, I think, 20 doctors and nurses waiting for us. And they put him on on the table, and they tried their best, and they gave him adrenaline, bloods, everything. And I remember the doctors looking at the sheet of paper, I guessing that was his blood results, and he's going, and I remember them saying his sugar levels like really high, which basically means the body's failing. So, they tried for ages, and eventually the nurse came
Fuck.
up to me and was like, "I'm sorry, there's nothing else we can do." And I was like, I remember yelling, I was like, "No, you're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep trying." And they're like, "It's too much of his little body." And that was that. And they're like, "Do you want to hold him?"
Oh.
And so we got to hold him, and it was just horrific feeling his little body go cold. Um, Take little last gaspy breaths from all the air
Oh,
that we pumped into his
fuck.
stomach from CPR. Um, yeah, that was that. In the hospital, did the rest. They did the box, and we had a room with him, and the investigators come and ask us questions just in case of like child neglect
Oh, fuck.
and stuff like that. Which is the worst thing. I'm just trying to
That
like
is
take in my
so
last moments
awful.
with my babies. They have to, I guess, because there's so many cases of child abuse where babies
And
just
they
die.
have, and so they're doing it there in the hospital whilst all this is happening, or?
Like after, so like a few hours later, like we went home, grabbed some clothes for him, and came back and just called everyone. And but
Oh my
as we were in
word.
they set up like a cold room where we got to sit with him. And, yeah, and the investigators obviously come in, as
Oh
I'm holding him.
fuck. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
So
and yeah, I don't know if it was comforting or not, but they just told me to put him down like I'm putting him to bed for the last time. I think I'd been up for like 24 hours at that point. And they're like, "Okay, well, what do they call them? That person that comes and takes the bodies is going to come soon." I'm
fuck.
like, okay. So, yeah.
Did they give, like, how much did they give you an opportunity to spend as much time with him as you want, and did they give you
Yeah,
options? And
yeah. We spent a good, I think, 5 or 6 hours with him, I think. Um, we got to dress him and cut some hair off of him and stuff. But it didn't feel like enough. I didn't want to leave him.
no,
Um,
of course not.
but obviously, decomposition's not kind.
Yeah.
So there was
Did
a
they
point.
put him in a did they put him in a cuddle cot or anything? And like in the cold, you
There
said they put
was,
you
I
in a
think, a really cold room.
yeah,
There was a cot there. I can't remember if it was cold or not, but the room was
yeah.
freezing. Yeah, that was that. And we went home and just,
That is so
yeah,
fucked
luckily
up.
we had some friends pick us up and they helped us move. I couldn't look at his bassinet.
Of course.
Um, which, like, eventually we had fallen asleep because I'd been awake for like 24 hours at that point. And I was still facing my partner and I just wanted to turn around and just think, I fucking hope that was just a bad dream and that he's still laying next to me. It was,
Oh,
um,
Cass, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I think my first my thoughts like instantly are just like it's just not how it's meant to be, and I feel like your intuition was so high that, you knew something was wrong with him. Like the fact that, you thought the reflux was not okay, you thought, all of these things, and it's
it just got dismissed a lot
yeah, is
because I was a
that's how
first
you
time mum.
feel? Like you feel that that this could have been found earlier?
And I didn't have much family up there. My mum came up, but she was a good help. But other than that, it was just me and Owen. I mean, my partner Alex, Owen, that's his nickname. And so I don't, I wouldn't have known what's wrong and right. And obviously, like now I look through pictures and videos and I pick things out. And yeah, but I remember the doctors and nurses saying he was fine. He
It's
was
so
fine that week,
fucked.
that 9 days before.
And are you having anything investigated or anything like that, or is there anything, or it's not?
So they did his autopsy, and it was inconclusive. We were like,
Oh,
how is like
how?
that
Yeah.
inconclusive? They have taken his some of his brain tissue and his spinal cord for further
Oh,
testing, but like could take
darling.
another year or so. So,
Yeah,
but
how
yeah,
does
we
that
just
come
sat
back
there.
inconclusive? Like, how does your baby die and is vomiting and this and all these things? Like, how is that inconclusive?
Like I would think something along the lines of like a pulmonary hemorrhage. Even my dad, who was a nurse, he came up and he was like, "It sounds like some sort of hemorrhage or, something." Like he was sitting next to me while I was like the coroner was speaking, and he was just going like, so yeah,
Hmm. And so, did you guys have a funeral for him?
yeah. My partner's mum came up and sister. My dad came, and then everyone else came. So the aunties, and then
Yeah.
we live streamed it to the rest of our family everywhere. So we had family in Adelaide, Sydney, Alice,
Mm.
everywhere. um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and we got him
Um,
cremated, and he's in the little bear. And
is
here
he in
we've
the
both got
bear?
necklaces. Yeah, he's got his urn in the in the bum of it. This is
Oh, I
Harrison on there.
love that. Hey,
We
Harrison.
we got little bits in the necklaces. My partner's got a necklace.
That's so beautiful. It's so fucked up at the same time. Like, that is just not, it's just not how it's meant to be. Hey, like it,
I just think
no,
like how the hell did we not get answers for that?
totally. And so once, because and I don't know because we didn't end up doing an autopsy on Millie. So when an autopsy comes back inconclusive, I mean, you've said they've sent off other things and that could take a year or so. Is there any other testing they can do? Do they have any of his DNA? Is there anything more, or that's just it? That's you just left with
I
that's
just
it's
assumed that they did everything. Like they said they did say to me they're like in a lot of cases with newborns, there's not always an answer. I'm like, okay.
and so have
Um,
they put it down as SIDS? Is that what?
I don't think they've deemed a final cause. I don't think until they get the brain tissue and spinal cord. But I'm guessing, you know, I think they've kind of prepared us not to get answers.
Far
I
out.
don't know if it will be deemed as SUIDS.
Mm,
Because it
yeah.
wasn't a typical case of SIDS. He didn't just, you know.
Just stop breathing. Yeah, he didn't. Yeah.
So
It's so fun. It's just fucked up. I just have no other words for you. Like, it's just. And so, before I started this podcast, I spoke, like, I reached out to a lot of my friends who had lost babies, and I said, like, what do you think are some of the things I should be asking on the podcast? And I guess, like, my question to you is, like, what do you feel like needs to be done now? Like, you don't did you have the right support in the hospital? Like, you feel like you were dismissed, which I just hate so much for you. And do you feel like there's things that need to be changed? Because I know a lot of medical professionals and midwives and things are listening to this podcast now. What is it that you would have felt you would have been better supported in this situation?
just, even if it's little, don't dismiss it. Like, still investigate it.
Mm,
And
yeah.
honestly, I just say to every mum, like, if you've got a hunch or you've got a gut feeling, don't let them turn you away.
Mm-hmm.
If you think
Yeah.
something's wrong, you fucking fight for that.
Have you heard of Ryan's rule?
Yeah, I actually didn't hear about
Yeah.
it until after.
Maybe we need to be screaming that from the rooftops a little bit more.
Because I remember in the hospital the 9 days before I mentioned that I was like, because he still did big vomits while I was there. And they're
Yeah.
like, these bloods will come back fine, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And I remember saying
Yeah.
about a soft spot, and they're like, it doesn't look very sunken. And I was like, well, it was earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
it's almost like you're pointing out all these things, and they were just like, no, no. So my one of my girlfriends, she has a little bubba, and he's like, we call him Millie's boyfriend. Like he was going to be my Millie's boyfriend, and he's always sick. And Em's at one stage was not taking him to the hospital because every time she went, she just got dismissed. She just got sent home. And then there was the last time she was taking him in. And when you were talking before about Harrison's breathing, like she was sending me videos one night of Mateo's breathing. And I'm like, girlfriend, you go to the hospital and you do not leave until they admit you. She spent 5 days there, and 3 nights she slept in a chair in emergency because she was like, but we just kept saying to her, do not leave. And then somebody had told me about Ryan's rule, and they said, tell her about Ryan's rule. And it was like, but how fucked up is it that you have to sit there saying, I'm not leaving? And because most people wouldn't. I'm with you, girlfriend. Like, I would have been like, okay, like, you're telling me it's fine, it's fine. And your gut's saying not. And it's the same with when Millie was in my uterus. Like, I kept saying, she's not kicking, she's not punching. I had a feeling it wasn't okay, but everyone told me it was fine. So we'd like to believe what all the medical professionals are telling us, right?
yeah, absolutely. You just think, okay, they know best. Which they do. I had some amazing nurses, but I think
Yeah,
when I needed more attentive care most, I didn't get it.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
And I think from
I
the
had some
medical
good
side of
nurses,
things, I
but
know, yeah, and we did too. We had beautiful nurses, and I guess they're usually overworked and underpaid, and not many staff, and all the kinds of things. So I'm sure they do their best in every situation, and it's just shit that this then happens, and we feel like we've fallen through the cracks or something like that, and
well, I was
you're
rushed out of the room. They said, "Oh, take your time," you know, like packing up and stuff. And then they came back in and they're like, "Okay, actually, we really need this room." I was like, "Okay." So I had Harrison, I had the bags, blankets, like the big
when
tin of
he was
formula
sick,
that my
when you went there
when I was
and
in
you were
the
sick.
hospital, yeah. They were
Oh
like,
my word, that is not okay. That is not okay.
yeah, it was just, yeah.
Can you have? And this is just my head thinking. Like, can they go? Can you get the reports from any times that you've been to the hospital to have it looked at? And I mean, maybe these things. Maybe some would say, "What's the point?" or whatever. But it's like I don't know. Part of me would be like, I would just want that looked at. Like, why?
So I
I don't
did
know.
tell the coroners all about that. Yeah, I guess they are looking into it, and they said, I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but
We haven't said what
they will
hospital it is,
check.
so it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they'll check all his records, like quote unquote, to see if they missed anything. And I
Yeah.
have tried to go through that process of requesting his information, but it's like a really lengthy process. You have to pay like a processing fee, and I have to prove that I'm his mum. I'm just thinking, why do I have to prove
Oh.
that I was his mum? Like, how am I going to use this?
Yeah.
I quite
Yeah.
literally said to the guy on the phone, sorry to him, I was like, he's dead. Like, how am I going to, why can't I access his
Mm.
records now? But,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard. But I mean, so we've asked for Millie's records from the hospital that we were at when we were in NICU. So we got transferred from Pindara up to Brisbane Mater, and they have said that that's fine. But I have to go to the hospital and have a meeting with the neonatologist and the head of the ward that she was in, and they will sit with us and go through it, and then we can have it. So I'm still open to doing that. I needed to discuss it with Dylan, but obviously it's super traumatic to have to go back to the hospital where your baby passed. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, are we ready for that? When are we going to do it? But I do really want to go over all of that, and I want to be able to hear, okay, when we were doing this tech, because when you said like you walked in and there was 20 people working on Harrison, I sobbed because I'm like, the vision of me watching that happen to Millie, I've experienced that, and it's so fucking traumatic. It's not. It's, it's so bad.
Yeah. I still struggle with it to this day with the
Of
flashbacks. I mean, I
course.
don't think it's something I'll never forget, but um,
No.
mm,
Well, it only happened in May. So this was the 12th of May this year.
yeah, he was born April 12th and he passed on May 12th.
Wow.
So,
Mm, yeah. And what was the
My
support like after? Is it like, so if were your friends supportive in your family, and what kind of things were put into place for you guys once Harrison had passed and you got home? And
so Alex's work was amazing. His bosses, all his work colleagues were just incredible with us,
yeah,
honestly. And they, so quite a few of them were there that night, which I
yeah,
imagine wouldn't have been easy for them. And his
no,
boss was there, and he had he had his hand on our shoulder the whole time, and all our family
mm,
flew up. And the only thing that's really hard at the moment is I did have an amazing grief counsellor, but she's had to take personal time off, and I haven't gotten another one in like 2 months.
oh, that's really
So it's been
hard.
really hard. And my biggest
Can
advocate, my dad,
mm,
who was a nurse,
mm-hmm.
he was saying, he passed away in October too, so
Oh,
last month. So it's just been like starting to feel like the Grim Reaper.
oh, honey,
um,
honey,
but he was the one, Mm.
oh,
So it's just been really hard.
I just want to give you the biggest hug through the phone. Was your
I
dad's
get
death
really,
sudden?
yeah,
Oh,
heart attack, usual stuff. um,
mm,
yeah, it was just you think about things, you're like, why?
yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
you think about this too. There's so many babies being born into bad homes and terrible
mm-hmm,
situations. And you're like, how is that fair? Like
yeah,
you just wanna.
yeah. I have two brothers and a sister, and I'm the youngest. And my brother, that's just a little older than me, has an ice addiction, and he has at least four, five, six kids, and it infuriates me. I just think, I have this. They're my nieces and nephews who I love and adore, and I don't get to have a relationship with them very well because of the kind of parent he is. And
Yeah,
even my mum rang me the other day. My mum and my dad are drug addicts, and my mum rang me and was so sad, saying, she got four healthy babies. I'm one of them, and so it breaks her heart that she's now seeing me go through this. It's like, and you're so right. You see so many families or people that don't deserve babies, and then good people lose
right.
babies, and it's
And I pretty much did everything to prevent SIDS. I gave up
mm,
smoking as soon as I found out because
mm,
I wasn't expecting to get pregnant. But I tried to eat relatively healthy, whatever I could stomach.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I stayed sort of fit as fit as I
yeah.
could with my tailbone.
I was about
I
to say, as soon
just
as you
when he
can when
was
you're pregnant,
here,
because it's so hard.
yeah,
Yeah,
tried to walk at least 10 steps. No, um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and I just even when he was here, like sterilized and everything. I really did try with the breastfeeding,
Mm,
but I do believe fed is best. Um,
yeah.
I did. I did everything I could against SIDS, and it just not that his case with SIDS. Well, it could be or it couldn't be. I don't know, but I don't know. I took my
Oh,
vitamins, my iron. I did have
yeah,
iron deficiency, but my
yeah,
folic acid.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got a friend
Yeah.
that was like, "Yeah, my mum was on meth the whole time. I was pregnant and I
Oh,
turned
I
out fine."
know. I know. I
So it's
know.
just
It's so fucked up. I know. I know.
so.
You know what? I went and had acupuncture today, so I'm on day 10 of IVF. We've got to now do IVF to get my eggs out. I'm not allowed to fall pregnant for 12 months. When they couldn't get Millie out, they cut my uterus acrossways and upways to get her out, right? And it saved her. I got 1 week with her because of that. But it means I can't fall pregnant till July next year. Doing IVF, I'm on day 10. I go get acupuncture today, and I was saying that to my acupuncturist. I was like, you know what? I'm not even being that strict with this IVF cycle. I'm not taking my vitamins, and I'm not doing this because, I did all of that with Millie, and look what happened. And she said, she was so nice, but she said, you know what? She said, I can so understand all of that. She said, but maybe because you took all of those vitamins, you got to a full term pregnancy, and you got that week with her. And it was the first time someone said that to me, and you know, she was very brave in saying that because I could have taken it the wrong way, but I just thought, you know what? Like, that's so fucking right. Like, I did get 1 week with her and I did get to, like, carry her till 39 weeks. And some people aren't so blessed, you know? Some people don't get to have a full pregnancy or they don't get to have any time with their baby. So maybe for the fact that you and I did take all of our vitamins and we did everything right means that we did get some time with our babies.
You know, I think I got told after he died that all they knew was your love. That's all they knew. And I just think about that.
I know. And even for the fact that you said on the ferry you were just looking at him thinking, how did I create something so beautiful, you know? Of course you did.
The happiest I'd ever been. Most sleep deprived was the happiest.
Yeah, and you did so amazing, you know, giving him colostrum and all of those amazing things and giving him so much love.
No one told me about nipple shields until he was about 2 weeks old. I was like, no one told me about this earlier. So breastfeeding doesn't feel like razor blades.
Oh, bless. And did you not have support for like a, what are they called, lactation consultant at the hospital?
I did have an appointment booked, but it was really hard to get there because our car wasn't booked. So our car wasn't on the road. So yeah, to get there I would have had to take like 2 buses. I mean, I had one at the hospital who really did help and try. But I was on the phone and she was just really like, it was really harsh. She was like, well, you can't keep putting it off, you know. I was like,
I've heard.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of old school lactation consultants who can be a little bit hard on mamas, you know. But
yeah, no one told me about nipple shields, which would have helped a while back. Because my supply dropped off, and then I'd try the nipple shield, and you crack the shits because nothing else would come out. Get a little bit. Nothing else, but
it's so crazy. When I was
you go.
Yeah, when I was pregnant with Millie, I was excited to breastfeed, but I think I'd told myself like, oh, if I can't, I can't. Like I was all for formula because I think I was trying to protect myself, like that if I couldn't do it, you know, well, that's fine, I don't even want to. And then when she was born and I couldn't breastfeed her because she was so unwell, I had expressed a lot of colostrum prior, and so she got fed through a tube for the whole 6 days, and I was able to put a little bit of colostrum on a cotton tip and put it in her mouth, and I just thought, oh my gosh, or what I would give to be able to breastfeed you right now, like, you know, like just, man,
Yeah, it was like the same sense of like, you know, you'd wait, you know, you get woken up and you'd be crying and be like, oh, here we go again, you know, I just want some sleep. And like, I wanted nothing more to hear my baby cry, you know? I just wanted nothing more for him to wake up and hear him cry. The cat's awake.
Oh, honey. Yeah, I know. And you sharing your story would make so many people like now appreciate. Like one of my friends was texting me at 2:30 the other morning, and she just said, I said, are you awake feeding? And she said, yeah. And she said, you know, these are the times that it hits me the most what happened to you, because she said, I lay here at 2:30 in the morning and her baby was born the day Millie passed away, one of my bestest friends. And she just said, you know, our babies were meant to be growing up together. And she said, I'm supposed to be awake with you talking about mastitis and feeding and, you know, all these things that we're meant to be complaining about things together, and we can't. And it's just like, it's, you know, and I think for me, it's made so many of my friends have a whole new realization on their baby crying and waking up in the middle of the night and being sleep deprived, and all those things are hard. Like, let's not take that away from parents. Like, all those things are hard. Not that I've ever experienced it, but fuck, I'll have a whole new appreciation for it when I finally get it.
You will.
Yeah.
Universe can't be that cruel.
Oh, I know. We're Christians, and when my tattooist flew up the other day and did my tattoo, and she's not a Christian, and she said, "So how's your relationship with God going?" And I said, "Man, I'm so angry." I said, "We were praying so hard for a miracle, and it's like, how does this happen? Like, where?" And then like I've been to church once since, and I'm like, everyone's praising God for miracles and healing, and I'm like,
Where was
where
he?
is it? Yeah,
I
I
prayed.
know.
I'd never prayed in my life, really.
Yeah,
And in that
yeah,
ambulance that night, I fucking prayed. I was like, "Don't take my baby from me."
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I used to get angry too. I'm like, "I didn't listen."
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's so
It's just
hard. I'm trying every day. I'm like, okay, God, come on. I've still, I've got
need a
faith.
miracle now.
Yeah, and, yeah, I know. And so you've just got to, like, when we were in the hospital, we were seeing the miracles at the time. Like, I was so grateful that I didn't lose her at birth, and I was so grateful that I got 6 days with her, and I was so grateful that we got we got answers with her DNA, or we're waiting for them still. But, like, so we could see all of those miracles, but I just still get so angry that it happened anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest fear now going on. Um, I don't know if you guys have done the same route as well, doing genetic testing. Like both
Mm-hmm.
me and my partner, I'm really contemplating it because it's like, was this something super rare that we miss and that they're not going to find that we should get screened for? And that's all I
So are
think
you gonna
about
do? Is
is,
that are you gonna do genetic testing?
I think so, once we have the money.
Yeah.
And then it's
Oh,
just
and
like,
it's
then
so
should we just do
expensive.
yeah, or should we just wait if we do get pregnant and make sure we do the NIPT test and
Yeah.
like push for more ultrasounds and more care? And I probably
Mm,
won't be leaving the hospital until they're 4
I
weeks at least.
know. I know. I know. I know,
Stuff.
honey. And do you know that's the hard thing? I was chatting to like the podcast interview I did yesterday. She had a stillborn baby at 40 weeks, and she's currently pregnant. She's 37 weeks, and like that anxiety is never going to leave us. And I feel like your anxiety is until the space you got to. So for us, like, I'm so fucking scared for a cesarean because that's when shit hit the fan. And then obviously we lost Millie 6 days later. But I feel like my anxiety would lighten maybe a little bit once my baby comes out crying, because I've never had that. And then you've got your anxiety that's going to be all through pregnancy, but maybe your pregnancy will be somewhat okay, and but then you've got that
Once they're
that
here.
4 week mark, yeah. And then like this girl that had her like the stillborn at 40 week, it's almost like we've all got this trauma for that particular time and moment, and getting through that is just how do we do it? I don't have the answer.
Probably
Like,
not
I don't
going to
know how to
sleep.
fucking do it. No,
Probably going
no.
to get an outlet monitor. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Not that it happened in his
Mhm.
sleep, but just in case.
I know. I know.
It's just those things, and it's just that, you know, you got so much love to give. And I don't know if you've had it either. You've had, obviously with the cesarean, you've been told to wait, but a lot of people have said you should just wait for like your emotional,
Uh
like,
huh.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, I don't think this is ever not going to be raw, even if I get pregnant in two
Right.
years' time. Like,
I
I'm kind of
know.
sick of being told that. Like, you should wait. It's like,
My GP said the same, and I was like, wait for what? Like, oh, well, at least you've
yeah,
got time to heal. I'm like, I'm not healing anytime soon. Like,
no, I'm never going to heal
and
from this, really.
no, and I did interview a girl the other day. So if you have a look for the episode that just got released on Sunday, Sarah. So she had a triplet loss,
Yeah, I did see a
and
little
then
clip on TikTok.
yeah, and then she's gone on to have two more babies, and it was very interesting having a conversation with her because in the last 3 years she's had the five babies, two earthside, three in heaven, and the trauma is now hitting her. So it was a bit of a realization for me to go, yeah, okay, I understand what the professionals are saying to me in terms of I do have to wait 12 months anyway, and perhaps that is the blessing. because I would have dived straight back in. You know, I was like, I need my babies now, and I would have kept going. And Sarah did say, like, she didn't give herself time to grieve, and she didn't give herself any healing. She's had no psychological help, no counseling or anything, and just kept going. And it's gonna, you know, and so it is hitting us hard now, but it's gonna hit us hard whether we would, whatever which way we do it. So
Yeah. And I mean, like, I haven't gotten too much help from the system, and again, it's up like the government, like not paying people enough, and you
yeah.
know, it's not too many professional, like it's the
Mm,
government. Government needs to start paying nurses and doctors more. But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's just one of those things. It's
So
just
you
like I
said
don't
your
think I'll
grief
ever be
counselor is
ready.
on leave. No, I know. And so you said your grief counselor's on leave at the moment. Are you in the process of trying to find a new one, or
Yeah, luckily I didn't realize Headspace does grief counselling, so I'm going to go through them. Luckily, I'm
amazing?
under in the threshold still of being able to access those. Um,
Okay. What is the
things. So,
threshold? Is it an income based thing?
is it, oh no, it's 16 to 25. I just
Ah,
thought I
okay. How?
used up all my sessions when I was a teenager. I don't know. I thought you only had a certain amount you could use it. Um,
Oh, that's so good. So that's free. So for people listening, so is it free counselling sessions with Headspace
yeah,
for ages 16 to 25?
I think that's the ages. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
amazing,
just Google it.
amazing. That's yeah,
Um,
that's so good for people to know. I'll put it in your show notes as well. Um, how old are you?
I'm 21.
No, man, the amount of trauma to go through. So much trauma.
It's just
And then you're probably going
and
to get those shit comments of, at least you're young.
yeah,
No, doesn't
like you have
fucking
plenty
matter
of
how old you
time.
are. Fuck off.
Like you have plenty of
Literally,
time.
fuck off.
Like
It's plenty of time for
I would
what?
have
Like, you know,
yeah
fuck.
I would have delved straight into it too, but I made the choice, which I wish I didn't, to go get the depot shot. I wish I didn't, just for
What's the
the
depot
depot
shot?
shot. Depot
What
Pivira.
is
It's
it?
like a birth control shot that you can get.
Okay, okay,
It lasts
okay,
3 months, so like
okay.
I just had 3 months to think about it. Except it's messing with my hormones, even though it's supposed to have worn off. My
Is
hormones are still
it?
trying to figure themselves out.
Yeah.
But don't
Oh.
recommend it. Really don't. But it
Yep.
was just a bit of
Yep.
time because I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just need.
Whose idea was that? Was that like a doctor that said to do that or something? Or
Well, the doctor did say, yeah, like it'd be a good idea. And I think it was good just to process the shock of it, not
yeah,
immediately getting
yeah.
pregnant. And
Of course, and because that's all you
so,
want. Like I was at the GP and I was like, okay, so we're gonna start IVF, and she was like, you need to take a second, and I was so angry. I'm like, take a second for fucking what? You know, like. But yeah, it's. I've been seeing my psych since the beginning, and she's very gentle and lovely and kind. But yeah, I didn't. I was similar to you in that. Like, I have an IUD in now, which I just hated the idea of. But I also was fucking with my head the thought of getting pregnant as well. So, and you
yeah,
know, it's just so much. It's so much.
I cried when I got the shot. I was
Yeah,
like,
of course.
yeah, I felt so depressed. But,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because one
I
minute you're
think if I
pregnant
got,
and you're so happy and you've got a baby, and the next minute you're taking something to stop you from being pregnant. And it's like,
all
I
you
don't
want
want to
is
not.
another baby in your arms. Just another,
Yeah. And
so
are you
hopefully,
working? Are you back at work or anything like that?
tried to. So I've been in about
Yeah.
3 jobs so far because I just
Oh,
haven't found something that I've
honey.
been comfortable with, and because
Yeah.
I know a lot of mums that are going through grief know this. I don't cognitively function the same way I did before.
Mhm. Yep.
Like my brain doesn't work the same way it does before. I get really stressed out really fast, and I get really fatigued really fast, and
Yeah.
yeah, I just can't do as high intensity as I used to. Luckily, my
Yeah.
partner is a great support, but I am trying to
Mm.
get back into the work mode of things.
It's so
And
hard.
TAFE. So I'm doing TAFE too, which has really been a
Okay.
motivator.
What are you
So
What are you studying?
I'm doing a diploma in screen and media directing. So I think my end goal is
Sick.
to hopefully one day I can make a movie about this or a
Oh,
documentary and bring more awareness to it.
yes. You so will. You so will. You so will.
Hopefully.
Just keep talking about your story. Keep sharing it. And I know you will. And it's so important. I feel like you're. I feel like there's so much to learn from your story, and I feel like there's more research that can be done. And I feel like with the podcast, someone said to me, "I can't believe you started this podcast so soon." And I'm like, it's like something drops from heaven into your heart, and it's like, this is what I need to do. And I'm sure that's going to happen with you. Like, if it's the documentary that's going to be created or a movie or whatever it is, like, you will continue to share Harrison's story, and in whatever way, for whatever
Straight
reasons,
up.
is it? Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully raise some awareness. Because I
Mm.
think that's the hardest part is I've never heard of a baby dying in the way he has. So
Mm-hmm.
not really. Like I've been on Reddit, Facebook, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
unless like there have
And,
been babies that have died in similar ways, but there's been
yeah.
answers to theirs, and
Mm.
so
And what kind of awareness would it be that you'd want people to know about? Like, just what exactly?
maybe just trust your intuition. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like just
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. There's
if
a
you think
common
something's
thread in
off.
each interview that I do. Like, as a mum is talking, like, they say certain things, and I think, I bet you know that was your reason. Like, each interview, it's like a mum can almost pinpoint times in it where they knew something was wrong and they weren't listening to it, or they didn't listen to their intuition, or they didn't. And a lot of you were so great for continuing to call ambulance and go to hospital and do all those things. So many people don't, because we're so scared of not being listened to, or being turned away, or being made a fool of. The fact that you kept going to the hospital, you called the ambulance, you did all the right things. You did,
Yeah.
and you should be so proud of that.
Oh, I'll give it to my friend. She was the one that told me if you think something's wrong, just go into the hospital. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I'm really grateful for that.
yeah.
And same thing, her baby's 11 months old now, and Harrison would have been 7, so they were supposed to be like the best friends as
Oh,
well. So,
yeah,
so that's really hard
it's,
too. So it's supposed to be
yeah,
more buddies.
yeah.
But
I know. We
yeah,
You have that, hey, and you just always see them, and then you're like, oh, that's what age, that's what milestone they'd be going through right now. And
they would have been eating snacks together already. Like, it just
yeah,
baffles my mind.
I know. It does. And I get the job thing. Like, when my mat leave runs out this week, and I'm supposed to be reopening my beauty salon this week, but obviously I've been doing the IVF egg collection Monday, and then I'm like, okay, so I'll reopen Tuesday, and I just haven't even advertised it yet, because I'm like, I'm so scared. Like, my clients are amazing, and I love them, and they all know about Millie, and they've all followed my journey, but I'm still so scared, because I get so tired, and you're so fatigued, and then your brain just doesn't work. Like, sometimes I'll be sitting there and I'm just staring at something, and I'm just not on the planet. Like, we're just not there. We are different people instantly from the day that happens.
I cried at work the other day because I couldn't get the burger combination. You know what I mean? Like, I was
Oh,
just like, I can't do
darling.
this. And I'm starting to think,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, everyone thinks I'm stupid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I
Yeah.
swear my brain works. It's just not working at the moment. And
Yeah.
yeah, I am trying to find like something a bit more lax to do. But yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
I've only got hospitality experience, which is chaotic. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mm.
So, I was hoping the switch in my brain goes. But yeah.
Yeah. Start journaling. I feel like you need to journal, and something's going to come to you, like you're saying that you only have hospitality, but maybe there's something else. Maybe there's another job out there that's like, that's going to be the perfect one for you. And somewhere, I feel
Yeah.
like you're super creative, and you can use your creativity somewhere else. Like, you know. Start
Hopefully,
doing some
somewhere in the
social media
media.
marketing or something. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ask Harrison to send you something. Say, baby, send mama something. I need a new
Yeah, send me
job.
some
Send me
inspiration
something.
for a sibling,
Yeah.
other one. um,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you guys are going to start trying again soon, or?
see what happens. I don't
No.
know. I
Yeah.
don't know. We think so, and
Harrison
then like a
was.
big stress comes up, and then we're
Mm,
like, oh, it's just the right time. So I'm really
yeah.
just trying to settle into a workplace. Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
nothing worse than I know when I was pregnant, just being in a workplace that just wasn't very supportive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's priority number one. Make sure
Yeah.
this baby gets yeah, the next baby gets even more spoiled,
Yeah.
and
You did.
and
You
my
did
partner
everything
can take
perfect.
yeah, and hopefully my partner can take
Yeah.
his 4 weeks off at least.
Yeah.
Because
Did
yeah,
he
that
get to
was a
take
big.
time off with Harrison?
He had about 5 days on the weekends, just because yeah, it yeah. I got to Brisbane, and obviously we went a bit over budget for moving
Mm-hmm.
because it's expensive, and he was working and stuff, but he kind of used his annual leave and stuff. But he had to use so much of it coming back to pick me up and then drive back over, and so he didn't have very much
Mm,
left, and we couldn't
yeah.
afford to take time off, and I tried to get onto Centrelink, and I was not eligible, even though our rent's half as
Oh
pay,
no.
and because I'm youth allowance, and they're just like, oh well, your partner can support you. He makes over the threshold, and I'm like, it's not how that works, but okay,
Really?
yeah.
You
So
didn't get maternity leave?
no, I was working casual before
Oh,
too.
honey.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
honey. That's shit. That
so
doesn't
yeah,
help. That doesn't help. Yeah.
yeah. This time I want to make sure I can, it can just be as
Yeah.
stress free as possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Get all your ducks in a row.
yeah, basically. Not that
Yeah.
having him here was stressful. As soon as he was here, it was like, all right, everything's fine. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And you realize you don't need as much stuff. Hey, like I had Millie's whole room decked out. Like I'm in here now, and it's got the best of everything. And then all of a sudden, you come home from hospital without your baby, and I'm like, I don't need any of this shit. Like I don't need any of it. I just want her. Like I just want her
yeah.
and a blanket and a that's all I need. I don't need anything else. And
His
so yeah.
pram was probably the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have a crib or anything set up yet. We're like, I'll wait for that. We just
Mm-hmm.
had this bassinet in the room and stuff, and changing table and that. But the
Yeah.
pram, it was just having that back and just being like, all I want is to go on a walk with him. All I want is just to put him in his bassinet. So
And
I
it
would
just
take
happened
being
so
spewed
quickly. It
on.
just, yeah, 100%. And it just, for you, it happened. You had him, and you had him in your home, and you had him in your life, and you had him everywhere, and and then that just got taken from you in such an instant. Like
Coming
that is
home,
so traumatic.
and his swing was still in the kitchen, and he still had blankets on the bed, clothes that I
Oh,
had to take him out of because he'd spewed on them, and there's even
fuck.
just things like
Yeah.
dirty nappies in the bin. I was like,
Oh,
all the stuff we just kind of
yeah.
moved it into the spare room, and we haven't touched it. Every time I go in there, and I'd be like, he had 5 nappies left in newborn size. Like, it's just not fair. His sleep sack was still on the bed.
Yeah.
There's still a little poo stain on
You
the
just wouldn't even want to wash any
on
of it.
the.
It's
I put it in
yeah, it's like I'm not
bags.
washing that off.
I couldn't get it
No,
off. It like
honey.
stained it. I don't
Yeah.
know how, but yeah.
Yeah.
Then we come
No.
home with this a
It's just so
box.
traumatic. Mm. It's not how it should be. That's so
So
hard.
I don't know if we'll get answers or what. Or yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
I really hope you do. I really hope you do. I'm not sure if you will, but
So they, yeah, because there's so
Yeah.
many, like research so many things too, like primary stenosis, and there's a certain genetic things that could have been up with them, and
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, and that's what I was going to say to you before, like you said that you were going to do like the NIPS test next time, but even we did the NIPS test and it came back
yeah, it
fine
doesn't get, it
and
doesn't get
it doesn't
everything.
doesn't get everything. There is a girl on social media who is Mackenzie's Mission, and she's doing a lot of fighting in the government and parliament or whatever to try to get more testing done when we're pregnant. So she's worth a follow. I haven't dived too far into everything, but yeah, so her little girl died of a genetic disorder that wasn't picked up in utero either. And so she's fighting to get more testing done because it's like we get so blindsided going into it thinking, I've done all the testing, I've done all the scans, my baby's fine, and then they're born and they're not. And you're like, well, what the fuck? Like, if
Yeah,
I did no testing and no scans, I could imagine that I got to my Caesar and Millie was unwell and I didn't know. Like, that, I can understand that. But I did all of the testing.
yeah.
So how does that, So yeah, it's such a blindsided thing to. I told you to make sure you brought enough tissues, and look at me, I've run out.
Yeah, I'm reusing. um,
Yeah, it's just that's an added head fuck that we think that we can do all these tests and we don't know, and I guess that's where we have to sit in our faith and go, okay, well, look, we have no control, we have zero control over whatever happens, and no matter what testing, no matter what vitamins, no matter what we do, it's all laid out for us.
I especially after my dad's passing, I just think if Harrison's passing taught me anything, you just gotta live every day to the fullest. Because tomorrow you could be
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
And it's not fair that, Millie only got 6 days on Earth and Harrison only got 4 weeks. They should have had a
yeah.
lifetime more. But, I just say to everyone, just live life to the fullest. That's all you can
I
do,
know,
really.
right? I
Just, like,
know,
be
and that's
fucking happy.
yeah,
Like, all you can
yeah.
do.
Which is so hard. That's what, like, it's just day by day, right? And I said it to a girlfriend the other day, she might have to do IVF, and, she's like, I'll pray for this and I'll pray for that. I said, girlfriend, the biggest thing I've learned, and I'm not against praying anymore, I'm not against God, I'm really not. I'm still trying to stay so faithful and see the blessings and the miracles, but what my biggest thing I've learned is we have zero fucking control over anything. Like, no matter what I do, no matter like, it's all laid out for us. That's what you did everything in your power to save your little boy, and you honestly did it, and I truly hope you know that. And I did everything in my power to bring a healthy baby into this world, and
The universe had other plans, apparently.
yeah, and it sucks and it's so shit, but
It's
how
another
beautiful
saying
have.
I hate.
What's that?
Some people have said to me, maybe it happened for a reason. I'm like,
Yeah, what fucking
what kind
reason?
of,
Yeah,
what kind of
yeah,
fucking reason is that?
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know, it's shit. There's no reason. There's no silver lining. There's no at least. There's no but. There's no nothing. There's not. And I used to always say those kinds of things. Everything happens for a reason. Well, you know,
This one doesn't make sense.
no.
Why would
Yeah.
this
Even when I
happen?
even when I started the podcast, everyone's like, "Oh, it's so great! You have such a loud voice in terms of getting things out there." I was like, "Well, if I could have Millie back, I wish I didn't have such a loud voice." Did God choose me to do this podcast? Maybe, but fuck, I wish I didn't have to lose my baby to do it. And I have no doubt you're going to create this documentary, and Harrison's life is going to be, there for that. And like, okay, there's the reason, but fuck, I didn't have to lose my baby for it. It's just
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Mm,
It's just so messed up.
it really is. There's no reasons for it. Well,
Thank you
it's
for
been
having me
so.
on.
It's been so lovely chatting to you. I just want to give you the biggest hug, and I think there's quite a few of us between Gold Coast and Brisbane, and I'm feeling like I need to organize a little. I feel like I need to organize some kind of little catch up, some event, some kind of session, some kind of something, and we can all get together and just hug and cry and hang out. How's
Absolutely.
that sound? Yeah, I just want to give you the biggest hug.
Too.
What time is Alex home today? Is he going to be here with you to hug you soon?
Oh, I gotta leave to TAFE soon. The traffic's gonna be
Okay.
nuts.
Okay. All right. Well, if you need me, I'm here. Please reach out.
Yep. Are
Giving you the
you going
biggest
to
hug.
the remembrance ceremony on Saturday? There's one at the
Oh, I
hospital.
don't know about it. Is there?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about it. At the Martyr?
I can't remember which hospital. But if that's on, maybe ask them about that.
Remembrance
Red
ceremony.
Nose organised it though, so I don't know if it's. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah. I would love to know about it. I'll find out. And if
Yeah.
I do and you're there, then that would be amazing. Oh, honey, I'm giving you the biggest cuddle.
Yeah, sure
You,
works.
yeah. Are you okay? Is there anything else you want to say before we go?
I don't think so.
Mm,
Apart from it's very hot in
okay.
Brisbane today.
Biggest hugs. And if you don't want to go to TAFE, just drive to my house and I'll give you the biggest cuddle.
Sorry, I gotta go. I'm taking too much time off.
All right. So proud of you. Hey, I just want to recap. You're amazing. You did everything in your power for your baby. He only knew love. You are just divine and he loves you. And he's with you all the time, and I'm just like so honored to have you on the podcast, like so honored. And I truly believe that when we make friends on earth, that our babies are dancing in heaven together. So I have no doubt that Harrison and Millie are having like the most beautiful little play in a garden together today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Can't wait to meet you. Bye, Bob. Bye.
Too. Bye.
Bye.